Welcome back to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. This is your Tuesday Takeover edition. Now, I kind of set on this topic for a minute um because I was doing so much of the situation with the Canadian Sons and Caitlin Clark situation, Sophie Cunningham, and all of this stuff about Caitlin Clark. But I did wanted to touch on this for a while, and now that I'm able to, because um, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of me real quick. I have a pretty good, great, I have a pretty good content create circle, that I respect wholeheartedly. I respect wholeheartedly because we all talk Caitlin Clark basketball. We all have different views, but we speak the same language in the same circle. So I'm going to run off some names and tell you the ones that I respect wholeheartedly. And I speak to, I comment on their stuff, because I want, me personally as a fan, I want to show support to them as well because they show support to me, and I have been on live streams with them, talked to them a little bit here and there. So, one, Pope be frank. He's very frank about the things that he's talked about when it comes down to Caitlin Clark and certain issues that dealing with the WNBA and other stuff on top of that. Does an excellent job. Cut from a different cloth. You can't, when I say uncut on raw, that's Pope B. Frank. Second, Miss Adrienne Ross. Very intelligent, very intellectual, very brilliant mind. She has coached basketball. She's teach. She write books. She does everything that you can imagine. Then there's Ben Daniels, who I think I followed the first when I started doing um getting back over here to the basketball side of him. He will tell you his quote: "Spade is a spade. Let's call a spade a spade." Ben Daniels, very cool guy, very funny. Does his job very well, very very well. Had a pleasure talking to him behind the scenes, through emails and stuff like that. Haven't really had him to do a live stream yet, and hopefully one day we will cross that path. And then there's Rudy Rance, Mr. Rodriguez, has come on now podcast, and his motto: facts over feelings, and he gets just like Pope B. Frank. He gets deep down raw with it. He don't he don't sugarcoat. He's just tell it like it is. Somebody else I did a live stream with, been on there, talked to plenty of times. And I respect these people because, like I said, we all had different takes, but we speak the same language in the circle. Speak it. Then you have Arc Nation. I've been on his streams a couple of times talking to him and stuff. He does the same thing, very melodic, point out certain things from a different perspective, you know. Then we have John Liquidator, who's um he tell you straight up, shake them haters off. So there's just excuse me, they're just a few that I follow, and these names that I follow, and there's more, but at the same time, these is the ones that I kind of like intertwine a little bit more with, what I'm saying? Because I, like I say, I comment on their stuff, talk to them, have done stuff with them because I respect them. And again, we all speak the same language. We all have a different take and perspective, but we all speak the same language. So, with that being said, it brought me to this. Dan Diedrich, who's, I don't know if he's the co-founder, founder, or whoever he is for Outkick. He had a pretty profound statement against Caitlin Clark a few weeks back, calling her a flopper. So then you had Jason Whitlock that came out and said the same thing. Then you had this other show, I think the Money Talk Show or Money whatever show it is. Let me look at it. What Mostly Talk Show. I guess they're on YouTube or whatever. And these all three people say Caitlin Clark flopped. But Dan Diedrich from Outkick, he took it upon himself to target a Pacific YouTuber, and he wanted to call them out. And then he said some pretty harsh things about the person when trying to praise them at the same time. And the person I'm talking about, Miss Adrienne Ross. Now, I remember before that that somebody tried to call Adrienne Ross out, and I brought it to attention and stuff. And she doesn't really care about these people because she don't have contact with them. But people seem to they want to come after content creators, YouTubers, because we defend Caitlin Clark. Now, when Caitlin Clark does something wrong in the game or she's not playing well, yeah, we do call it out. I don't have no hesitation calling it out, but I'm not just going to pile up on her or call her names just because now it seems like it's easier to get more clicks to be a hater of Caitlin Clark than it is to be a supporter of Caitlin Clark, if you know what I'm saying. So Jason Whitlock, who flip flops back and forth, we already know his history. Now we've seen it from Dan D. I'm gonna just call him Dan D. Um, or Dan Ostrich because he looks like an ostrich, a bald eagle, whatever the case you might be. He was one of the biggest supporters from the Caitlin Clark era, but now it seems like he flops. He flip flops back and forth because whatever the wind blows, this is how these people go. So, little background on him, I digged up. So, Daniel John Dietrich is a former basketball player, current sportscaster who has held various roles in sports. He played for Indiana University, where he was named All Tournament at the Indiana Classic as a junior. He later served as a graduate assistant at the University. Dietrich Dandridge also coached at Bowling Green University and served as an intern coach for the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, so he has a pretty good background. He played basketball, 6'5", whatever the case may be. Okay, well, but as we all talked about, when you come into this space of podcasting, you have to have some kind of common sense. He doesn't even know Adrian Rose from a can of paint. He doesn't. But he took it upon himself because he looked at her channel because she has a big following. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he said. Well, she talks slow, but she has a great following. So Adrian Ross has to be illiterate with a great following just for you to be able to talk about her. If you knew anything about her, to me, I feel like she's the mother of all of us in this content creation. Me, Rudy, me, um, Pope Be Frank, all of us, because we all think highly of her. And she's goes out her way to have a lot of people on her show. She wants different ideas. She supports everybody, but just to have an ignorant take about her and then just call her out. No, I mean, we protect our own out here in this content creation world. That's what we do. We might not speak to each other every day. We might not talk to each other every so often, but we watch each other's material, content, and we support each other. There is no way for somebody who's this professional but this is the thing about it. People like him who feel like they're above everything and they can take shots at people and think they shit don't stink, for the bad lack of words. You don't even know this lady from a can of paint, but then you sit here and talk about her. So let's go back into where he said about Caitlin Clark and her flopping.
Truth of the matter is Clark flopped. Clark flopped her ass off. Technical foul on Mabry, right. That's it. No ejection. Good. Good. See, referees suck in the WNBA. They're DEI hires and they're awful. But one thing that they did understand was, well, Caitlin Clark's a flopper. Caitlin Clark is a flopper. I'm supposed to call it a joke. No, but I won't do that. I thought they handled it absolutely perfectly. I did. I thought Mabry handled it perfectly. I thought that the girl Sheldon handled it perfectly. And I thought Clark did what Clark did: flop, instigate, then run away. That's what she does. I mean, people can get mad about it, and I know she's the holy grail for everything, including our show, but I got to tell you, that's what she does.
So he said she's the holy grail for everything, even his show. Okay, that just goes to tell you what he does. So now he feels like, okay, he don't build his reputation on Clark's name. Now, granted, this he's from Indiana, Gary, Indiana, the home of the Jackson Five, Michael Jackson and his family. He's from that area. So you think that you would think that's like saying Pat McAfee switched up on Caitlin Clark and started talking about Caitlin Clark. He knows Caitlin Clark's name is a hot topic. So he's like, okay, well, I don't praise her, and I've been getting backlash. I've been getting called out. Now let me go against her. So now people think that I'm not a true supporter of Caitlin Clark. Well, if you have to switch up to go against her because you see some things in the game that you probably didn't even watch the game, you just watched clips. You didn't watch the whole game. So let me break it down to you, my man. Let me break it down to you. Caitlin Clark got punched in the back by Tina Charles. I already showed that footage a million times. People said, "Well, let me see the video." How cut clear that you can see that? Not only did JC Sheldon poke her in the eye, not once, but she did it twice. Twice. Did you pay attention to that? No. Because see, when the second time JC Sheldon was so far away from the ball from Caitlin Clark, she had to lunge and grab at Caitlin Clark's face. She didn't slightly touch her in the face. Caitlin Clark reaction showed you that she digged her, she got her in the eye. And it's not once she did it twice in the game. Plus, you seen her grabbing Caitlin Clark, digging her nails into Caitlin Clark's arm. Did you see that, Dan? No, you didn't. Do Caitlin Clark embellish stuff sometimes? Yeah, she does. Every great does it. Does she talk her trash? Yeah, she does. Every great does it. Does she, I guess you could say, flop a little? Everybody does it. But to get battered, bruised, and beat up in a game, nah. Soon as Mabry came over there, and you see Mabry came over there and crossed her arms and knocked her down. Caitlin Clark was already off balance because she was tending to her eye. So how was she supposed to gather herself, keep her balance at the same time when you getting blindsided from the backside? Have you ever got blindsided, Dan? Have you? Have you ever ran into a screen that knocked you on your tail? Have you got hit as a wide receiver playing football? No, I don't think so. See, the thing about it is, you don't understand that, but you want to give credit to her being abused on the court because it makes you look good. Let me go to Jason Whitlock.
Last night, when J.C. Sheldon and her, they were pushing back and forth in the first and second quarters. Jay Sheldon accidentally hit Caitlin Clark in the face. It was accidental. Caitlin Clark flopped around and acted like she got stabbed in the eye to make sure she got the whistle and got the penalty or whatever. To me, she overreacted to accidentally getting slapped in the face. Jay Sheldon kind of walked towards Caitlin Clark, probably in a gesture to apologize, say, I'm sorry for slapping you in the face. Caitlin Clark shoves or pushes the Jay Sheldon away, and that's when Marina Mabry, the guard for the Connecticut Sun, who's not afraid of anybody, walked up on Caitlin Clark and bumped her, and Caitlin Clark, as she is prone to do, flopped to the ground as if she had been tackled by Dick Butkus or Ray Lewis. That's Caitlin Clark. Go back to her days at Iowa when the court got stormed, they got beat, and Caitlin Clark.
So now, as he's talking, he's showing the video. So how in the world that Caitlin Clark flop when she's literally grabbing her eye, trying to gather herself, and Marina Baby came and slammed into her and knocked her down. Then prior to that, soon as JC Sheldon, well, Jason Willis act like JC Sheldon hurt her. But see, this is the thing. These people so dumb. They get these big platforms and they can't see the forest from the trees because they blinded, because they want to manipulate the outcome to their liking, to make it seem like, oh well, she's just doing this. She's just doing this for an act. No. If you looked at the Valkyries game, they showed a photo of Caitlin Clark's leg, bruised up, black and blue bruise on her knees and her leg. She's already had the leg bandaged up from her thigh injury, her calf injury. But then again, she gets in the game against Connecticut that was an all-out assault on her. And it takes the likes of Lexi Hall and Sophie Cunningham to have her back. See, Dan and Jason, they just alike. Different color, but just alike. They old heads in the game. They are no worse than the old guards in the WNBA. Then I've been on several different sports shows, hash shows. Now they have their own little thing because nobody in the media want to deal with them anymore. So now they have their little syndicate shows that they could just talk, rant, rave, and whatever the case may be. That's what I find it good. But when you start coming after YouTubers and content creators, because we support Caitlin Clark or we talk about Caitlin Clark or the Indiana Fever and we call out BS, such as yourself and Jason and this other guy.
Caitlin Clark. I might go against everybody on this one. She is an amazing player. She is an awesome player, but she is an absolute flopper.
Yep.
She is a flopper, an embellisher. She talks. Mm-hmm. She's on camera last night saying, I can do whatever the fuck I want to somebody.
Yep.
And then she gets lightly pushed a couple times. I would put Caitlin Clark's ability to fall at the slightest touch up there with any GOAT ever. When she got pushed last night, nobody falls like that. She falls with her whole body. That's what that's why I think she's a drama queen. I think she's a great player.
So that is what money something show, whatever I called it out early. But anyway, these people like Jason, Dan, and him. These people, they old. They've been in the game for a long time. And guess what? They don't have nothing going on for themselves. Any topic that they could jump on, they will jump on it. Just to make it sound good for them, make it get their ratings. Caitlin Clark's name rings bells for them, whether it's bad or good now. See, they was talking about her good all last year, going into this year. Now all of a sudden, she gets in a ruckus with her college rival, and now she embellishing stuff. Now she's a flopper and all of this stuff. After seeing SGA play, that's flopping. That's the worst type of flop. You can't tell a person flopping because they cannot see. If you grabbing your eye and you trying to gather yourself, somebody comes up and knock you down, you jumps. Come on, man. If y'all do not watch the whole game, do not talk about it. Don't talk about it. But one thing, me personally, I'm not gonna stand for. I might not have the biggest following as everybody, but I have the biggest voice as everybody. And one thing I ain't not going to stand up and talk about or have talk about is the likes of Jason Whitlock and Dan going after other YouTubers because we correct the BS. And that's what it is. Correction of BS when they stop talking. Because apparently they didn't watch the game. They didn't watch the game. They just took highlights and just called it for what they see it. They didn't see the whole game. They didn't see how this girl was getting beat up from the beginning to the end. How many times she got poked in the eye. How many times she got grabbed, JC Sheldon digging her nails into her skin. Come on, man. So, Dan, you're a sucker. Jason, you're a sucker. And the other guy, you're a straight sucker. To target to go after Miss Adrienne Ross is petty. That's petty. Because she don't know you can of paint. You should be thankful for somebody that has the knowledge, the insight, the intelligence to have clear thinking to be an asset. But like I said, don't come for us. Trust me, because we come for you. And it's so at the end of the day, like, comment, subscribe. This your Takeover Tuesday, Live Wire Sports Media, and we out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.